There are already a bazillion, million, quadrillion book reviews on this series already, so no one wants to hear that from me. Everyone already knows this series is pretty amazing despite what you may feel about the author or whatever's happening with the new movies, but it's hard to deny that they were hyped for a reason. So I'm rereading this series as research for my new animation coming up, but instead of putting out a boring old book review, I thought we would do something way more fun. I decided to go the fun, nitpicky route. I honestly don't think any of these things I'm gonna mention are enough to detract from the story. Most of them are actually really fun details that I think made the books as exciting as they were. I just wanted to highlight some of the weird things that I didn't really notice or pay attention to the first time reading it as a kid. Alright, let's just right into this. On page 13, Professor McGonagall actually tries to save Harry from living with his horrible aunt and uncle. Even she realizes that these muggles are worse than your typical non-magic people. But Dumbledore's like, nah, he'll be fine. Kids are tough. I know Dumbledore has his reasons later on for doing what he does, but if I were Harry and I found this out, I feel like I'd appreciate McGonagall a lot more and Dumbledore just a little bit less. There was a horrible smell in the kitchen the next morning when Harry went for breakfast. It seemed to be coming from a large metal tub in the sink. He went to have a look. The tub was full of what looked like dirty rags swimming in gray water. "What's this?" he asked Aunt Petunia. "Your new school uniform," she said. Harry looked into the bowl again. "Oh," he said, "I didn't realize it had to be so wet." Okay, did anyone ever really think of Harry as like a mini troll? I know he talked back to Snape a bit in books 5 and 6, but I don't remember him being a little troll at age 11. He's not like Fred and George level, but I think he outclasses Ron. Dudley was in shock. He screamed, whacked his father with his smelting stick, been sick on purpose, kicked his mother, and thrown his tortoise through the greenhouse roof, and he still didn't have his room back. Okay, time out. First off, animal cruelty. Put this boy in jail and save that poor little tortoise. 2, he kicked his mother and whacked his father with a stick. This kid needs some Asian immigrant parents like right now to bring some hell down. I swear. 2 weeks with my mom and he'd be like flinching anytime he sees like a flip-flop or something. On page 40, when the owls start dropping letters off for Harry, Vernon kind of goes insane. Like, this didn't really register to me as a kid because like jobs and responsibilities was never the hugest concern of mine at that time. But as an adult, I'm like, dude, how can you take so many vacation days off for this? And do you think you burning through all your vacation days is gonna win out against magic? You know this is magic. You think you're gonna win against magic? I'm just like, dude, come on. I treasure my vacation days like they're gold. "Ah, go boil your heads, both of you," said Hagrid. "Harry, you're a wizard." I like how this is kind of like a Star Wars thing where everyone remembers the line as
"Luke, I am your father."
But in reality, it's
"No, I am your father."
So instead of "You're a wizard, Harry," it should technically be "Harry, you're a wizard." Personally, I like the movie and the meme template more. And when they're going to try to get Harry's gold for buying his books and stuff, I kind of forgot that Gringotts was like a huge like twisty-turny maze roller coaster ride down there. But if you have this as your bank, why bother even going to Disneyland or Universal? Just set up like 6 bank accounts and anytime you just want to bring your kid for a ride, just like, I need to make a withdrawal. Less lines and less crazy people. I mean, I'm down for it. On page 109, Malfoy tries to get some clout by befriending Harry, but obviously gets shot down. But instead of just taking the L, moving on, and saying like, hey, there's plenty of chicks that dig the Tom Felton, I got plenty of options, he goes straight to, let me just casually threaten your life. Seriously, check this out. "I'd be more careful if I were you, Potter," he said slowly. "Unless you're a bit politer, you'll go the same way as your parents. They didn't know what was good for them either." Okay, I've heard kids threatening to pound each other into the ground type of insults, but I've never had someone threaten my life. Okay, wait, no, definitely. I think I've had OMG, I'm gonna kill you, or oh, I'm gonna murder you right now. But usually it's always with like a funny undertone or something. Like one time I stole this guy's backpack and threw it into the girl's bathroom because he ate my bag of Skittles. Not like, don't make friends with that kid, make friends with me or you'll die. Different vibes, man, just different vibes. We learned that Seamus's mom is kinda awful. Maybe I'm not in tune with wizard marriages, but that is not okay! I mean, in any marriage, magic, cybernetic, whatever, I think I want to know, because you do not want to be surprised when a half-metal baby comes popping out. "Well, my gran brought me up and she's a witch," said Neville. "But the family thought I was all muggle for ages. My great-uncle Algy kept trying to catch me off guard and force some magic out of me. He pushed me off the end of the Blackpool Pier once, I nearly drowned, but nothing happened until I was 8. Great Uncle Algie came around for dinner and he was hanging me out of the upstairs windows by the ankles when my great auntie Enid offered him a meringue and he accidentally let go. Okay, where are Child Protective Services? I think we have a real case here. Even Muggles had this shit in the 90s. Come on now, okay? Send Great Uncle Algie to Azkaban. Neville had somehow managed to melt Seamus's cauldron into a twisted blob, and their potions was seeping across the stone floor, burning holes into people's shoes. Within seconds, the whole class was standing on the stools while Neville, who had been drenched in a potion when the cauldron collapsed, moaned in pain as red boils sprang up all over his arms and legs. Okay, that's at least 10 different health code and safety violations, so let's shut this shit down. Flushed with their victory, they started to run back up the passage, but as they reached the corner, they heard something that made their hearts stop. A high, petrified scream, and it was coming from the chamber they had just chained up. "Oh no," said Ron, pale as a bloody baron. "It's the girls' bathroom," Harry gasped. "Hermione!" they shouted together. Okay, Harry and Ron running to go find Hermione in the girls' bathroom, then proceeding to locking the girls' bathroom with the troll inside it. I think we solved the mystery of why they were definitely never considered for Ravenclaw. Christmas was coming. One morning in mid-December, Hogwarts woke to find itself covered in several feet of snow. The lake froze solid, and the Weasley twins were punished for bewitching several snowballs so that they followed Quirrell around, bouncing off the back of his turban. It's honestly a crime that Fred and George were never recognized for doing something that no one else could. Smacking Voldy in the face with some snowballs. Malfoy is the most uninspired bully ever. Like, I had totally forgotten how lowball his insults were. All he has to go on is Harry's an orphan, Ron's poor, and Neville's a wimp. I mean, if you're gonna be a bully, at least be a funny one. Okay, we're finally here. Page 204, the reason why you probably clicked on this video. I'm not joking, this is really in the text. Harry watched Hagrid get redder and redder in the face as he called for more wine, finally kissing Professor McGonagall on the cheek, who, to Harry's amazement, giggled and blushed, her top hat lopsided. Ew. Okay, so there's a few things in life you didn't know you wanted to see until you saw it, and then you cannot unsee it. This is one of those times. I am not against Hagrid finding love, and I am not against Professor McGonagall getting wet. But no, not with each other! On page 214, Harry finds the mirror of Erised, and Dumbledore comes to talk to him. What do you see when you look in the mirror? I see myself holding a pair of thick woolen socks. Do you see this face? This face does not believe that bullshit. You saw yourself snacking on Grindelwald and you just didn't want to tell an 11-year-old. At that moment, Neville toppled into the common room. How he had managed to climb through the porter hole was anyone's guess, because his legs had been stuck together with what they could recognize as the leg locker curse. He must have had to bunny hop all the way up to the Gryffindor tower. Everyone fell over laughing except Hermione, who leapt up and performed the counter curse. Okay. Is everyone at Hogwarts? Poor kid falls over with his legs stuck together and your first instinct is to laugh and point. Hogwarts needs to cut a potions class or something and add an empathy class, cause they're raising future serial killers here. On page 221, we learned that Slytherin has won the House Cup for the last 7 years. So that was a good run for whoever was like there from year 1 to 7. But for real, pout all you want, Jake Rowling, but this just proves ambition and drive brings results. On page 226, Snape corners Quirrell at the edge of the Forbidden Forest. Did I don't know why you wanted to meet here of all places, Severus? Oh, I thought we'd keep this private, said Snape, his voice icy. Students aren't supposed to know about the Sorcerer's Stone after all. Dude, Snape, homeboy, you are not discreet. And right after that, Harry, Ron, and Hermione are agonizing over the prospect that Snape wanted to get the stone. At this point, I wouldn't care that much. I know later they freak out because they allude to the fact that it's actually Voldy who wants the stone. But at this point, it'd be like, okay, cool. A teacher wants money and to live forever. Doesn't everybody? So basically, the Norwegian Ridgeback in Harry Potter is Red Eyes Black Dragon. All we need is a Blue Eyes White Dragon and a Dark Magician, and we're good. On page 238, Ron's in the hospital wing because Norbert bit him, and he's got to deal with some poison. It's not just my hand, he whispered, although it feels like it's about to fall off. Malfoy told Madame Pomfrey he wanted to borrow one of my books so he could come over and have a good laugh at me. Oh no, I just remembered Charlie's letter was in that book Malfoy took. He's gonna know that we're getting rid of Norbert. Okay, what? I try my hardest to defend the Ronald, but... You dumbass! Why would you let Malfoy borrow your book? That means Ron either said yes to Malfoy letting him take his book, or Malfoy just took it without his permission, but Madame Pomfrey was like, cool. But if it was the case, all you had to do was like, Madame Pomfrey, he stole my book! And she would have just whooped some Slytherin ass right there. I'm starting to understand why they sidelined Ron in the movies. So Malfoy is caught sneaking around trying to get a teacher to rat out on Harry, Hermione, and Neville. But he gets caught, Harry and Hermione get caught, and Neville, who's trying to warn Harry and Hermione, get caught too. McGonagall only takes away 20 points from Malfoy, but then she takes 50 per person for Harry, Hermione, and Neville. It doesn't look like Snape is the only teacher favoring Slytherin. On page 248, Filch is taking the kids out for their detention with Hagrid out near the Forbidden Forest. And he goes, "It's just a pity they let the old punishments die out. Hang by your wrists from the ceiling for a few days. I've still got the chains in my office. Keep them well oiled in case they're ever needed." Do you ever think Hogwarts had this talk where it was like, should we keep a creep like Filch near small children? But if we get caught, you two will be expelled too. Not if I can help it, said Hermione grimly. Flitwick told me in secret I got 112% on the exam. They're not throwing me out after that. That's interesting. So it seems like Hogwarts is getting some outside funding dependent on students' grades. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. It's a ton of fun rereading these books the first time as an adult, and I'm hoping there's gonna be a lot more weird details like the McGonagall x Hagrid's Christmas scandal. So I guess we'll see. If you like this video, please give the video a big thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And if there's anything I missed, please make sure to put it in the comments down below. I almost missed the Fred and George hitting Voldemort in the face with some snowballs, and that would have been a travesty. So if there's anything like that I missed, comment section, guys. I need to know.